Hi everyone, this is Jane here from Crystal Sparkles Readings. Just here to put down our cards for the week. And yes, I'm just going to have a shuffle of the Faulkner Tarot deck. Just turn this air conditioning off, that'll be a bit better. Okay, how have you all been feeling with the whole full moon energy? I am literally exhausted. Honestly, no sleeping, just really struggling energy wise. So that energy's moving away from us now, thank goodness. So let's see what we've got moving forward for this week, which is the last weekend in July. I can't believe I'm saying that, but I am. So let me just have a look and see what the black and white Faulkner deck has got for us today. Okay, so Chariot. I think we've had the Chariot recently. The Chariot seems to be coming up an awful lot in this last few weeks. So I kind of feel like I'm looking at movement. I always do when I've got the Chariot. That's what it feels like to me. And I feel like I'm repeating myself quite a bit. So I'm not going to say too much more about the Chariot because we've had it a lot. But what I always say with the Chariot is don't let anybody else drive your car. So, you know, you don't want to be letting anyone else do the steering. You want to be going in the direction that you want to go. You don't want to be letting other people control you or naysay you. You know, if you want to do something, I want to do this, I want to go for it. Don't let other people kind of pee on your fireworks. Don't let people put you off. If you really, really want to do something, then go for it. That's your right and your purpose is to go for what you want. I'm not saying just willy-nilly do things that will harm other people. That's not it at all. But it's okay to put yourself first from time to time. So that's what I feel like I want to be saying with the Chariot this week. I'm sure we had it last week. Maybe we had it the week before. Sorry, excuse that phone. That will stop in a second. I'll just shuffle while that's ringing. Okay, so we're done. Okay, so now I'm going to have a look and see what the Tarot of Mystical Moments has for us this week as well. I do love this deck. I'm really enjoying it. It's really cute, interesting, different, whimsical. It's really, really lovely deck. Okay, let's just see what they've got for us. Okay, Nine of Swords. So the Nine of Swords is a card that talks about really us dealing with our pain and our things that are difficult for us. Things like losses, can be bereavements, it can be endings, painful endings. But, you know, this Nine of Swords is really interesting because she kind of has all these eyes all over her. So rather than all the swords, which in the Nine of Swords would traditionally be above her, I think, and in the traditional deck. For some reason, that's just escaped me at the moment. But the Nine of Swords would talk about that kind of sadness and all of that kind of energy where we are dealing with losses. But I feel like with this Nine of Swords, you've got all these eyes here. And it's almost like those losses, although they're sad, they've given you insight. They've given you vision. They've given you an ability to look at things in different ways. It might not have been the ways that you would have chosen to look at them originally, but it has given you knowledge and it has given you insight. The thing with the swords cards is they're head cards, okay? So they're thought cards. So it's not so much the ending, it's how we're thinking about that ending that is being reflected with the Nine of Swords. The Nine of Swords is very much about the thoughts and allowing us to let the thoughts go so that we don't have to dwell too much in that energy. I tell you what's really interesting is that this Nine of Swords to me is reminding me a bit of like a globe, like a world map. So this is kind of like a bit of land. This would be sea. This would be a bit of land. So, you know, like on the globe, so where you've got, I don't know, say North America going through, you see into sort of South America, that sort of bit of the globe, or two other continents that are kind of separated by some water or just a very thin part of land which is hidden behind her. This can be talking about that. So when I'm talking about the globe, it can be talking about the world for me in the tarot. So it might be looking at like another version of the world card. And the world talks about completion. So it does talk about endings and it does talk about new beginnings. But it also talks about completion. So you've learned everything you can from that particular cycle. And because we've got all these eyes, I just feel like this is an ending that has given you a massive load of insight into something. So it might be a friendship where you've actually sort of suddenly realised what that person is. Maybe they weren't such a great friend after all. Maybe you thought that they were always going to be around and they're not, you know. Maybe it's a relationship where you thought you would always be together and now you're not, because that's not working for one or the other or both of you. So it can be about knowledge and insight, and that's what I feel like I'm looking at with that particular card today. So I'm also just going to put down an oracle card from the Sacred Forest oracle deck and see what we've got here. Okay, just going to have a shuffle. Oops, that literally just fell out of my hand. So let me just shuffle, and if it was the right one, it will come back. I'll always take them if they jump out, but I literally just dropped that, and I know the difference between the energy. If it's meant to be our card, it will come back for us. So let's see what we get. Okay. So the meandering pathway, I really like the energy of that card. Straight away, I really like the fact that we are looking at a pathway into a forest or a wood, or out of a forest or a wood. It's very much kind of light at the end of the tunnel kind of energy. This is the guiding light, but this is the wizard. He just reminds me of Gandalf. So it's a really, I love it. I just love it. It's a real beautiful kind of fantasy card. So the meandering pathway, the key word that she has on this deck is flow. So I kind of feel like when we're on this kind of meandering pathway, rather than getting frustrated with the fact that we've got twists and turns and new places to go on this pathway that perhaps we didn't think we were going to, rather than being frustrated by that, if we can just see that as part of the journey that is bringing something of value, I feel like that's the message that I'm getting from this particular card. It's a lot of wisdom. There's a lot of spirit energy here. There's a kind of whole beam of light that comes through here, highlighting things for you. So what do you need to look at? You've gone on this meandering journey. You've gone on this pathway that is not quite straight to where you wanted to go. What are you meant to be noticing because you're going a slightly different way? Could be something really important. So I'm just going to have a look and see what she writes in the book about the meandering pathway, and just see. Okay, so the meandering pathway, it says, the spirit of the meandering pathway says, everything falls into place when you don't resist the flow of the meandering pathway of life. Allow the path to take you where you need to go. Don't hurry or resist it. Simply let go, surrender, and enjoy the journey. So yeah, absolutely, this kind of energy of you're not being frustrated because you're weaving your way through the woods. Just allow it and just go with it. And as you resist it less, it feels less frustrating and you're less blocked. The more frustrated and resistant you get, the less likely you are to see these moments of kind of enlightenment, really. I feel like the eyes are about enlightenment. This feels like it's about enlightenment. What do you need to know? You're on this chariot journey. So, you know, this road looks pretty straight to me. So it's kind of saying this is your pathway. Don't hold back from it. Don't let anybody put you off. But in order to get more insight about what you need to know, you might need to go on a bit of a meander to get there. It's valuable. It's going to bring you stuff you wouldn't have got if you just stuck to this straight road. So that's, I feel like, the message. So let me just have a quick look and see what Brian's got to add today. Right, okay, now that did jump out. So bear with me, I just need to get it because it's fallen on the floor. And my knee's still rubbish, so I can't bend down there to get it very easily. Just one sec. Okay, so Brian is saying onwards and upwards. Only one way, mate. Keep going. Only one way up. Keep going, and there is no point sulking. It is what it is. So, you know, if you're being taken on this path, you want to go here. You're being taken on this path to allow you to see more, maybe to heal from stuff, maybe to understand more things, maybe to be enlightened, maybe to have that light bulb moment when you realise that actually maybe that person's not the person that you really want to take with you on that journey. So there's a method in the madness of it taking a little bit longer and going a little bit more wavy and weirdly and wandery to get to where you want to get to. You will still get there, but just allow yourself to go with the flow is the energy that I feel like I'm looking at here. So hopefully that's kind of helped you with your week. Let me know down below in the comments if that resonates with you, or if at the end of the week you kind of understand that, or it's always really nice to have comments and things, and I always try to respond to them. So please do leave a message, and I'll try my best to get back to you, and we can talk about what's coming up. If you've liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you enjoy this kind of thing, please subscribe to my channel. It really, really helps. I'm getting very near to 500 subscribers, so I'm really, really happy about that. So yeah, if you would like to see more of this sort of thing, then give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Have a really lovely day, rest of the weekend and the next week, and I will speak to you all soon. Thanks for watching.